toppers. In the previous part, we had studied introduction of principles of taxonomy. In this part, we are going to learn levels of organization, which consist of firstly unicellularity, colonization of cells, and multicellularity. Secondly, levels of organizations, that is a cellular, tissue level, organ level, and organ system level. As we know, all living beings are highly organized, structured, and follow a hierarchy from smaller organisms to larger organisms. Every living organism is composed of cells. Cells are at the simplest level of organization, performing various activities either singly or within the body. In larger organisms, many cells work together to form next level of organizations, the tissues. Tissues are group of similar specialized cells carrying out a specific function. There are many different types of tissues in both plants and animals. Tissues are grouped together and form a higher level of organization, that is organ. An organ also performs a specific function. At next complexity level, organs work together and form an organ system. In an organ system, different organs work together and perform common function. Organ system keeps the body regulated and in a stable state. Different systems often work in coordination with each other, and this organ system makes an organism. The next topic is unicellularity, colonization of cells, and multicellularity. So, when the earth was formed, the most fundamental unit of matter developed was the atom. So, what is atom? Atom is the smallest unit of ordinary matter that forms a chemical element. Every solid, liquid, gas, and plasma is composed of neutral or ionized atoms. Atoms are extremely small and typically around 100 picometers across. These consist of a nucleus surrounded by elements. These atoms combine together by one or more chemical bonds and form molecules. Many molecules together form polymers or macromolecules by polymerization. So basically, what is polymer? So polymers are class of natural or synthetic substances composed of very large molecules called macromolecules. So what is the polymerization? Polymerization is a process through which a large number of monomers molecules react together to form a polymer. And these polymers aggregated and were surrounded by membrane to develop a cell. And these cells formed organisms. So let us talk about unicellularity. This unicellularity words has composed of two words. Uni means one and cellular means cell. These unicellular cells can be prokaryotic or eukaryotic. So what is prokaryotic? Prokaryotic cells do not have membrane bound nucleus, and also the cell organelles like mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, and all these organelles. Whereas the eukaryotic cells have membrane bound nucleus and have cell organelles such as mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum, etc. All prokaryotic cells are unicellular such as bacteria and archaea. Many eukaryotes are multicellular, but some are unicellular such as bacteria, protozoa, unicellular algae, and unicellular fungi. Unicellular organisms are thought to be the oldest form of life, with early protocells possibly emerging 3.8 to 4.0 billion years ago. They may possess cell wall. Mode of reproduction may be sexual or asexual. In asexual reproduction, they can perform firstly binary fission. Binary fission involves the longitudinal or transverse splitting of an organism into equal halves which develop into two separate individuals, example in amoeba. Next is budding. This involves the development of a small mass of cells as protuberances on the parental body to give rise to new structures called as buds. These buds separate out from the parental body and develop into new individual. Example you can see in Hydra. Next is fragmentation. It involves the breaking of parent organism into two or many fragments. Each fragment develop into an individual. Example in Spirogyra. Next is regeneration. It is also called morphallaxis. If the organism is cut up, its pieces can grow into separate individuals. Example you can see in Planaria and Hydra. Next is spore formation. This is the method of developing new individuals by forming reproductive structures called spores. A spore is a small spherical or oval structure which protects the future individuals in a thick protective covering. Spore germinates on a substratum under favorable conditions. Some organisms like ferns, some groups of fungi reproduce by spore formation. The last one is vegetative propagation. It is the production of new plants from the vegetative parts of the plant. Roots, stems and leaves are called the vegetative parts of a plant. Example you can see in rhizome, tubers, suckers, etc. So what about sexual reproduction? Sexual reproduction is done in unicellular organisms by combining DNA with another organism to create offspring. Today's first question is, what is the kingdom of Paramecium and Euglena? And what are the mode of reproduction of both of them? Give answer in the comment section. The next one is colonization. It is an advancement towards collection of organisms in close association to form a colony. Colony is composed of two or more conspecific individuals living in close association with or connected to one another. This association is usually for mutual benefits such as to prevent extinction, stronger defense, or the ability to attack bigger prey and reproduction. The colony may be formed of similar individuals or differentiated individuals performing specific functions which are vital for the whole colony. Some of its individuals seems to act as true organs. The division of labor among the individuals in a colony appear to a highly organized approach of the colonization. The members of a colony may be physically united, as in the cases of sponges. The division of labor takes place between the cells as an aggregate kind of cells in poriferans. Sponges are described by the possession of a feeding system among animals. In coelentrates, polyps are concerned with feeding, protection and asexual reproduction, whereas medusa are concerned with sexual reproduction. In ants, there are different tasks such as foraging, brood care, nest defense, waste disposal, etc. that need to be performed, and so the group can benefit from division of labor. In honeybees, exhibit two patterns of organization of work. In the spring and summer, division of labor is used to maximize growth rate and resource accumulation, while during winter, worker survivorship through the poor season is paramount and bees become generalist. In the beginning, all individuals in a colony are similar. They may become bigger and stronger. In a colony, the individuals behave as specialized organs. Some colonial flagellated green algae are made up of simply clusters of independent cells. Today's second question is, why a colony does not grow to an infinite size? Please give your answers in the comment section. Next is multicellularity. So what are multicellular organisms? Multicellular organisms are made up of more than one cell. All species of animals, land plants, and most fungi are multicellular. Multicellular organisms arise in various ways, for example, by cell division or by aggregation of many single cells. Colonial organisms are the result of many identical individuals joining together to form a colony for mutual benefits such as security, food access, and these organisms form multicellular animals. Multicellular organisms thus have the competitive advantages of an increase in size without its limitations. They can have longer lifespan as they can continue living when individual cells die. Multicellularity also permits increasing complexity by allowing differentiation of cell types within one organism. Some cells are involved in reproduction while others help colony to swim and overall survival. So how the multicellular organisms are formed? Firstly, there is unicellular cells which combine and form a colony of unicellular cells. And these colony forms multicellular organisms with specialized cells. The colonial theory suggests that the metazoans evolved from the colonial flagellated or amoeboid protozoans. The colonial flagellate hypothesis proposes that multicellular organisms evolved from a single flagellated cell. The modern green algae volvox has evolved into a multicellular organism due to specialized cells. Cells are differentiated as somatic cells and germ cells. So what are somatic cells? They are all the cells except sex cells, whereas germ cells are divided by meiosis to form sex cells. The shape of the ancestral metazoan changed from hollow spherical form due to a notch or invagination formed at one side. The indentation became larger and produced a double-walled cup-like structure called as a diploblastic body, that is, two layers of body tissue. The outer layer is ectoderm and the inner is endoderm. The process of indentation to produce a diploblastic form occurs in the embryo of many animals. Almost all multicellular organisms have ectoderm and endoderm except the sponges. Please like and subscribe this channel and press the bell icon to get regular updates.